everyone, this is Robyn with mypinkstamper.com, and I have a super yummy, delicious card for you today using some of my favorite colors, which are pink and silver, and then I have black for just a little accent. So I'm going to be working with the Hostess exclusive Merry Patterns stamp set. This has only been available for the month of September and October on my shopping page, mypinkstamper.stampinup.net. This is a Hostess reward that is free with a $300 retail workshop, party, or order. I know some of my customers like to save up and get their own Hostess rewards. This is a fabulous stamp set. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So I will just share everything that I'm using on this card. I'll have the items on the item code numbers on the screen. If you'd like to recreate this card with just another one of our Christmas stamp sets, you'll also find the catalogs directly on my shopping page, mypinkstamper.stampinup.net or mypinkstamper.com. You can simply substitute this reindeer out for something else. I think Merry Mistletoe might have a deer that'll work as well. So if you're not going to be a hostess right now, that's a great substitution. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be using my Big Shot. Let me put everything away and let's pull out the Big Shot. Here is the Stampin' Up! Big Shot. I love this. This is my die cutting machine, the ultimate die cutting machine. I love it because all of our framelits, thinlits, edgelets, they all coordinate with our stamp sets. And I'm using just one of our simple shape ones. This is called Lots of Labels. It comes in a set of, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different sizes, 6 or 7 sizes. So I'm using this on our thick Whisper White cardstock. And I'm going to just put that framelit on top. And I'm just going to run it through. Now, let me show you if you've never used one of our big die cut machines. Look at that. Now I have that ready to go. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of our Berry Burst cardstock. This is one of our new in colors for the years 2017 to 2019. So this is the in color Berry Burst. And I'm using just the regular Big Shot platform, and I've taken off the extra piece on top. And I'm using one of our dynamic embossing folders, which means they're thicker, so you'll have to put them in just a little bit differently, and I'll show you that in a second. So this Berry Burst cardstock is cut at 3 3/4 by 5 inches, and I'm using the Cable Knit embossing folder, Dynamic Impressions. And I don't, normally you would have the sandwich cutting pad on the bottom and one on the top. Because this one is thicker, you don't need to put one on the bottom. Just put it on the top, run it through, and you're going to get a super deep impression with our dynamic. And if you want to make them even deeper and show up more, you can spritz with water first. So look at that, isn't that beautiful? Just gorgeous. All right, now we're going to do our stamping. So I'm going to take our Berry Burst ink pad, and all of our colors coordinate with our cardstock, and we have embellishments, we have pens, refills, all sorts of things that coordinate together, which is wonderful. All right, so open up your Berry Burst ink pad, and I'm going to put my reindeer that's in a sweater. Did you guys see that it was in a sweater? Is that so adorable? Press down, lift up. I have my reindeer done, and now that's the only thing I'm stamping with my Berry Burst. Now I'm going to take my basic black ink pad, and I've actually grabbed a hello from another stamp set called Flourishing Phrases, but you could really use, if you have a small sentiment, or maybe you want to use Merry Christmas or whatever. I'm just, these cards I was making were for my customers. I was making thank you cards, so I just said hello, hello, got something right there, and just a quick and simple. Now I'm going to just set that aside just for a second, and then we'll start putting this all together. I'm using my Stampin trimmer next. So if you're looking for just a smaller trimmer that scores and cuts, that can also cut your 12 by 12 paper, that's perfect for any desk size, I highly recommend the Stampin trimmer. It cuts straight, evenly, And I also like that it scores, like I said. So I have cut this at 8.5 by 5.5. This was a regular piece of cardstock. And I've already scored it at 4.25. So I'm going to set this aside. Now I'm going to take this here and I'm going to cut the bottom part of my label so it just goes straight across like this. So you can make different shapes. Isn't that so fun? Kind of think outside the box. So now it's time to start putting everything together, and I'm going to be using my Stampin' Mist. I'm using my bone folder, and I'm also going to be using dimensionals. So I will fold this in half and set this aside. Now I am going to be using a piece of our silver foil. This is a silver foil sheet. It's cut at 4 by 5.25. Okay, we're going to go ahead and add the adhesive now on all 4 sides, and we'll just add it to the silver foil sheet. Should give you a nice border around it. Now we're going to take this and flip it over and put some adhesive on it. We're going to add this to the Whisper White, like so. This is one of my most favorite cards. I love it. Okay, now I'm going to take some silver glimmer paper. This is just a scrap piece that I have. They actually come in 12 by 12 sheets, but I use every single piece of my glimmer paper and my foil paper just to make it go further. So this is going to be 3 3/4, and I'm cutting this at 1 1/4. I'm going to save this little strip. I'm saving all of it. Set that aside. Now I'm going to take this here, and I'm going to put it up probably about half of an inch from the bottom. Now I'm going to turn this over. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of our rhinestones. So this is how they're packaged. You get a ton of rhinestones, and again, I use every piece of my rhinestone on my projects. I save them. I don't want to waste them. So I'm going to be adding 3 of our rhinestones, and I'm putting 1 in the middle on the left, and this is how I do it to line it up. And then I'm going to do the 1 on the right. Then I flip it over, and then I can do 1 on the right next to it, and it just really helps me with lining it up better. And I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to use our Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm going to actually use quite a bit on this because I really want it to be solid and pop up. So I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but you'll get 300 in a package for only $4. So it's quite a good deal. And usually I only use about 3 dimensionals on an element that needs to be popped up. And now I'm just going to add this on here. And I've already made quite a few of these, and I will post a picture at the very end so you can see my mass production of this card. This would be such a fun Christmas card to give to your family and friends this year. Pink and silver. It's not the classic Christmas colors, but it's my classic Christmas colors. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for stopping by. See you soon.